Hello everyone. Myself Komal Garg, MSc Botanist and NEET Biology educator. Today I am going to discuss human reproduction, and for the topic I am going to discuss is menstruation cycle. So, in the menstruation cycle we are going to discuss in which organism menstruation cycle takes place, what is menstruation, and what is the period of menstruation. So, let's discuss. So, menstruation cycle is generally observed in the female primates. Female primates such as apes, monkey and human being. So, these are generally the organism in which menstruation cycle is observed. Now, after that, what is menstruation? Menstruation is generally due to a degeneration of endometrium lining or inner lining of uterus because fertilization of the ovum does not take place. So what happened? This is the endometrium lining, right? This lining get disrupted, releasing blood. So that's why we generally observe blood flow during the menstruation period, because fertilization process does not take place or pregnancy does not occur. So that's why endometrium get degenerate, releasing blood. Now this menstruation period is about 3 to 5 days, which can vary from person to person, and the monthly cycle is about 28 to 29 days. Now the first menstruation period, first menstruation at the puberty time is called as menarche, which occur during puberty. Now what is menstruation cycle? Menstruation cycle, it is a time period between the first menstruation and the second menstruation. First menstruation and the second next menstruation, that is the menstruation cycle. Now this is the graph of menstruation cycle, which are describing the basically endometrium disruption, proliferate to form new endometrium, and it get affected by ovarian hormone, pituitary hormone. So we are going to discuss whole the graph. So first of all, menstruation generally lasts for about 3 to 5 days, and this is the blood, menses, which are released during the menstruation cycle, and these are whole endometrium lining. Okay, these are whole endometrium lining which get disrupted during the when the fertilization does not occur or pregnancy does not take place. So then there is a degeneration of this endometrium lining. Okay, so this is the release of blood. Now after that we are going to see ovarian hormone. So there are two ovarian hormone, estrogen and progesterone. See, this is the estrogen. This estrogen, its level increased during the ovulation period. When we can see, this is the estrogen, this line representing the estrogen. This increased during the ovulation period. Now what is ovulation? Ovulation, it is a release of the secondary oocyte when the mature graphicle get rupture. This is a mature graphicle and it get rupture, releasing the secondary oocyte. So that whole process is called as ovulation. So ovulation mainly affected by an pituitary hormone, which is called as a LH, luteinizing hormone. So when there is an increase in the level of luteinizing hormone, so there is an event called ovulation take place. So another ovarian hormone is progesterone hormone. Progesterone hormone, which is released by the corpus luteum. Now what is corpus luteum? See, first we know ovulation. Ovulation, it is a release of secondary oocyte when this mature Graafian follicle get rupture and releasing the secondary oocyte. Now the left out material of this Graafian follicle form the corpus luteum. Okay, so this corpus luteum is formed by this left out material of the Graafian or mature follicle, forming the corpus luteum. Now this corpus luteum form an hormone, synthesize an hormone called as progesterone hormone. So okay, now we know how progesterone hormone, progesterone hormone is produced. Now what is the role of progesterone hormone? So progesterone hormone, it help in the reformation of endometrium, thickening of the endometrium lining. See, during the menstruation this endometrium lining get disrupted, right, releasing more blood flow. So after that, progesterone hormone is released after the ovulation. Corpus luteum release the progesterone. So these progesterone help in the thickening of this endometrium lining. ये क्या करेगा, थिकनिंग करेगा. Why? Because there is a potential why? Because there is a potential chance of pregnancy during the further event. So that's why progesterone help in the pregnancy by thickening the endometrium lining. So that's why progesterone hormone is released. Also called as gonadotropin. Okay, so LH, FSH, they have different role. Some help in the spermiogenesis, जिमें FSH help in the basically sperm formation, right, and LH help in the synthesis of the androgen hormone. So they have different function also, but however here the major role is in the ovulation process to release the secondary oocyte. So that is the whole menstruation cycle. So this ovulation takes place at the 14th day, during the middle day of the whole month, that is the 14th day during which ovulation process takes place. After that, corpus luteum, after releasing progesterone, it also starts degenerating and further cycle continues. So that is the whole menstruation cycle. Now we are going to discuss the how this Graafian follicle or mature follicle, how this form. We can see here these are growing follicle. We can see these are growing follicle. ये primary follicle बना. So ये फिर secondary follicle, फिर tertiary follicle. This is a mature follicle. Then this is a ovulation. It is a tertiary follicle. Tertiary follicle contain fluid filled cavity called antrum. इसको क्या कहते हैं हम? Antrum. ठीक है, इसको antrum कहते हैं. लेकिन इसको ना पूरे हार्मोन को एक बार अच्छे से देखते हैं. How they are correlating with each other. What is the process? How they are correlating with each other. See. When there is a menstruation, initiation of the menstruation period, then what happens, there is an increase in the spike of FSH hormone. So what happen, it help in the basically maturation or the growing of the follicles, small follicles which grow further. So that signal is given by the FSH hormone. That's why it is also called follicle stimulating hormone, which stimulate the growth of follicle process. So we are going to discuss this whole process in the detail. So what happen is, in the female, at the time of birth, there is a release of myelin of oogonia, which is different from the male process, as male release sperm during their puberty time. However, female release their oogonia at the birth. Okay, so at the birth time they release myelin of oogonia, and what happen is this oogonia undergo mitosis division. We know what is the role of mitosis. Mitosis help to increase the number of cells. So that's why they form the number of oogonia and it form primary oogonia. So during the puberty, primary oogonia number remains about 60,000 to 80,000, in between that. Now primary oogonia will now undergo meiosis to form further follicle. So what is going to happen is there, they will arrest in meiosis 1 prophase 1 stage. They will temporarily arrest here in the meiosis prophase 1. So after that, meiosis continues and forming the primary follicle. Now what is primary follicle? When this primary oogonia, it get covered by layer. When it is covered protective layer of cells around their oogonia, so that form the primary follicle. When it get covered by many layers, for 2 layers, so that form the secondary follicle, and it get covered a secondary follicle further get layered by many layers, forming the tertiary follicle. Now tertiary follicle has also a different, we have also discussed, they have antrium, that is a fluid filled cavity. We can see here that is the fluid filled cavity. Okay, so after tertiary follicle it get mature, forming the Graafian follicle or mature follicle. So in the tertiary follicle, the primary oogonia, here primary oogonia is present. The primary oogonia further grow in size, इंक्रीज हो जाएगा, उसका साइज इंक्रीज होगा. प्राइमरी ओगोनिया से क्या बना लेगा, वो सेकेंडरी ओगोनिया बना लेगा. क्या बना लेगा, सेकेंडरी ओगोनिया. सो जो ग्राफियन फॉलिकल है, इसके बाद वो क्या करेगा, ओवुलेशन प्रोसेस में जाएगा. मैंने बताया ना ओवुलेशन क्या है, व्हाट इज ओवुलेशन. सो ओवुलेशन इज अ प्रोसेस व्हेन द ग्राफियन फॉलिकल लेयर गेट रप्चर, releasing the secondary oocyte. That is the ovulation, which take place at the 14th day during the increase in the majorly LH luteinizing hormone. So that is the whole process of forming the whole follicles, release of ovulation. Now this left out material will form the carpus luteum. It will going to form the carpus luteum. Now this carpus luteum will release an hormone called progesterone, right? Progesterone, which help in the thickening of endometrium for pregnancy. So progesterone hormone help in the pregnancy, during pregnancy. ठीक है. So that is whole process. Now we are going to discuss the whole spermatogenesis. So what is spermatogenesis, spermiogenesis, permeation? Many students get confused in these terms. Now we are going to discuss that. Now we are going to discuss the whole process of sperm formation, where sperms are formed, how they are synthesized, what are the different processes, spermatogenesis, spermiogenesis, permeation. So let's discuss in detail. So in the male reproductive organ, testis is present. So testis has many compartment 250 compartments of testicular lobes, which contain further seminiferous tubule. These seminiferous tubule, so this is vasa deferens, and which is connected through epididymis to the testis, and where seminiferous tubules, these are seminiferous tubule. These seminiferous tubule contain sperm and Sertoli cells. These Sertoli cells help in the nourishment of the sperm cell. Nourishment. When the sperms are formed, completely mature sperms are formed, then they get embedded himself into the Sertoli cell for nourishment. So we can see here These are interstitial cells. These are interstitial cells. Interstitial cells. After that, these are seminiferous tubule wall, and here spermatogonia is formed. Spermatogonia. This spermatogonia undergoes mitosis division and differentiate. Differentiate means they acquire particular function, become specific. So then they differentiate to form primary spermatocytes. These are primary spermatocytes. After primary spermatocytes, they undergo meiosis 1 division, where meiosis 1 is a reductional division. It reduces the number of chromosome number by half. So then after then they form haploid secondary spermatocytes, which has 23 number of chromosome, where spermatogonia, primary spermatocytes, they are diploid. 46 number of chromosome. Human has 46 number of chromosome. After meiosis 1, they become haploid and they have 23 number of chromosome. Then after that, secondary spermatocytes, then they form spermatid by the meiosis second division. So secondary spermatocytes undergo meiosis second to form spermatid, which are non-motile sperms, immature sperms they are. So after that they undergo spermiogenesis, forming sperm which are motile, has tail. So these are our sperms which are haploid and 4 in number. So another cells here present are Sertoli cells, which help in the nourishment. These are Sertoli cells. Now we can see whole. So these are seminiferous tubule wall, and here spermatogonia is present, which has 46 number of chromosome and are diploid. They undergo which division? Mitosis. Mitosis is a division which help in increasing the number of cells, right? Where growth, they help in the increase in number of cells. So that's why they undergo mitosis and differentiation, because they acquire particular function. After that they form primary spermatocytes, which are also diploid, 46 number of chromosome, because they are diploid, right? So these primary spermatocyte, they undergo meiosis 1, where meiosis 1 help in the formation of secondary spermatocytes, which are haploid and they contain 23 number of chromosome. So they have 23 number of chromosome. They are haploid. Secondary spermatocytes form spermatid. They are spermatid. These are spermatid. Spermatid undergo spermiogenesis to form the sperm. Now sperm has a tail. They are motile, where spermatid are non-motile because they lack the tail. So now after that, these sperm get embedded in the Sertoli cell for nourishment, and when they are released into the lumen of seminiferous tubule, this process is called as spermiation. And spermiogenesis, it is the formation of spermatozoa by the transformation of spermatid. So spermatid transform into the spermatozoa. This process is called as spermiogenesis. Where spermatogonia form the sperm, it is called as spermatogenesis. So here there are three terms in which you should never get confused. Spermatogenesis, formation of sperm from the spermatogonia, and that is spermatogenesis. Now spermiogenesis, it is a formation of spermatozoa by the transformation of cells spermatid, that is spermiogenesis. Spermiation, it is a release of sperm from the serotolite cell, a seminiferous tubule. So hypothalamus release the gonadotropin releasing hormone. Now gonadotropin hormone, which help in releasing the gonadotropins, now they act on interior pituitary. Okay, interior pituitary further release gonadotropins. These are gonadotropins because they are released from the gonads, hormones which are released from the gonads. Now luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone is released. Luteinizing hormone act on the cell called leaching cell. Leaching cell. Now these cells release the androgens. Androgens help in the process called spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis. Sperm formation from spermatogonia. So spermatogonia से क्या बनेगा? spermatogonia से spermatogonia से क्या बनेगा? sperm बनेगा. Right, that is spermatogenesis. Now after that, follicle stimulating hormone will act on the serotolite cell. Now these cells release some factors. These factors help in the process called spermiogenesis. Spermiogenesis is a process where spermatid transform into spermatozoa. Right, which are sperm, motile sperm, which can move, have tail. Like spermatid क्या है? What is spermatid? Which are sperm but they are non-motile. So that's they are the ovarian pituitary hormone. So that's the pituitary hormone which have different function. One, LH helps in this spermatogenesis process, where FSH help in the spermiogenesis. Now we come to the important basically outline of the NCERT. We have learned that menstruation. What is menstruation? When the endometrial lining get degenerate, as when the ovum does not get fertilized. So after that, we know ovulation, it is a release of ovum or secondary oocyte when the Graafian follicle or mature follicle get ruptured, and the remaining parts form the corpus luteum, which release the progesterone hormone, important for pregnancy. Now menopause is basically the phase of the woman during which their menstruation phase ceases. That is about 45 to 50-year old woman. Okay, so it is a structure of a sperm. Now sperm They first of all, this structure is acrosome, which contain various enzymes, hydrolytic enzyme, degrading enzyme, which degrade the ovum outer membrane, zona pellucida. So what happened? So what happened when there is ovum? So sperm by the acrosome degenerate this ovum membrane. Okay. Now after that, genetic material, a neck, middle piece contain various mitochondria. Middle piece contain mitochondria. These mitochondria help for energy source, so they provide the energy for the movement. Now they have tail, which help in the motility movement. Okay. So it is a diagram of seminiferous tubule which contain Sertoli cells, spermatogonium, primary spermatocytes, secondary spermatocytes, spermatozoa, spermatid, right? And here spermiation is not written correctly. So it is a NCERT trial. What happened is there, spermatozoa embedded themselves in the Sertoli cell for nourishment. Then release of the spermatozoa from Sertoli cell to seminiferous tubule, that is spermiation. So you should know what is spermiation. That is a spermiation. Three terms in which students get confused: spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis, it is the conversion of spermatogonia to the sperm, or the formation of sperm from spermatogonia when it undergoes various division, that is spermatogenesis. Sperm formation, spermatozoa formation. Spermiogenesis, when the spermatid get converted into spermatozoa, transformed into spermatozoa. Spermatid, it is a non-motile, it is sperm but it is a non-motile, does lack a tail, does not contain a tail. Where spermatozoa, it has a tail, it can move, so motility. So that is a spermatozoa, sperm which can move, right? That is spermiogenesis. Now spermiation. Spermiation is a process where sperm which are embedded in the Sertoli cells, it get released into the lumen of seminiferous tubule, that is spermiation. So students get easily confused between these terms. So how you now clearly know what is spermatogenesis, spermiogenesis and spermiation. After that, we are now going to discuss questions. So spermatogonia undergo a series of cell division statements to produce sperm. Now select the correct options from the following. A option, spermatogonia always undergo meiotic cell division. क्या ये सही है? जो स्पर्मेटोगोनिया होता है when it undergoes spermatogenesis process and in the process of formation of sperm, so during that process spermatogonia, it undergoes meiotic cell division? No, it undergo mitotic cell division. Mitotic, because it increases the number of spermatogonia and also differentiate. So that is statement is wrong. Primary spermatocyte divide mitotically to produce secondary spermatocyte. So, जो प्राइमरी देखो स्पर्मेटोगोनिया माइटोसिस में जाके क्या बनाएगा? प्राइमरी स्पर्मेटोसाइट बनाएगा, राइट? प्राइमरी स्पर्मेटोसाइट क्या बनाएगा? सेकेंडरी स्पर्मेटोसाइट बनाएगा. लेकिन क्या आ जाएगा? म्यूसिस 1, इट अंडरगोस म्यूसिस 1 because meiosis 1 is a reductional division. It will reduce the number of chromosome number by half. So that statement is also wrong because it is meiosis 1, not mitosis. Now secondary spermatocyte through their second meiotic division produce haploid spermatid. True. secondary spermatocyte क्या meiosis second में जाएगा, second meiotic division, and क्या बनाएगा? spermatid बनाएगा which are haploid. So that is true. सी ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट। ए गलत हो गया, बी गलत हो गया, तो हमारा ऑप्शन क्या है, बी ऑप्शन आएगा। सो डी ऑप्शन, स्पर्मेटिड प्रोड्यूस स्पर्मेटोजोआ थ्रू माइटोसिस, विच इज नो, विच इज रॉन्ग, बिकॉज क्या है ये, क्या स्पर्म्योजेनेसिस होता है ना, हमने पढ़ा ना, स्पर्म्योजेनेसिस प्रोसेस होगा जिसमें ये क्या किस में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा, स्पर्म में कन्वर्ट होगा, स्पर्मेटोजोआ में कन्वर्ट होगा, माइटोसिस नहीं करता है यहाँ, क्या करता है, स्पर्म्योजेनेसिस करता है। ई ऑप्शन, तो सी ऑप्शन सही है। नाउ these are gonadotropins, right? Hypothalamus release gonadotropin releasing hormone, which release luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. तो FSH आएगा, तो ISH नहीं आएगा, ठीक है। Now after that LH, it act on the leaching cell, so leaching cell आएगा। Now option A is correct, but still after FSH hormone, it act on the Sertoli cells. कौन से सेल होंगे, सर्टोली सेल्स होंगे। सर्टोली सेल्स क्या करेंगे, फैक्टर रिलीज करेंगे और किस में हेल्प करेंगे, स्पर्मियोजेनेसिस में हेल्प करेंगे, तो ऑप्शन ए इज करेक्ट। देखो कितने क्वेश्चन इजी हैं अगर आपको कंसेप्ट पता है, मैंने बनाया था ना ये, ठीक है ना, तो ये माइंड पैप से होते हैं, अगर आपको ये पता है तो आप इजीली क्वेश्चंस कर सकते हो, राइट। ये भी हमने स्पर्म का डायग्राम किया था कि जैसे हेड में क्या होता है, न्यूक्लियस प्रेजेंट है ना, साइटोप्लाज्म में न्यूक्लियस प्रेजेंट है, तो इसके हेड के पास क्या होगा, जेनेटिक मटेरियल होगा। और मिडल पीस में हमने पढ़ा था, मिडल में इसमें माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया होता है, तो माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया क्या करता है, एनर्जी सोर्स है, तो मिडल पीस में एनर्जी आ जाएगी। एक्रोसोम, एक्रोसोम में क्या था, एंजाइम्स थी, तो इसमें एंजाइम्स आएगा, विच हेल्प इन द डिग्रेडेशन ऑफ जोना पैलिसोडा मेम्ब्रेन। नाउ टेल, टेल इज फॉर मोटिलिटी, स्पर्म मोटिलिटी, तो ऑप्शन किस में आएगा, ए का थर्ड आएगा, बी का 4, सी का 1 और डी का सेकेंड, तो ऑप्शन सी इज करेक्ट। आफ्टर दैट two statements are given, we have to choose what is correct. So assertion A, during menstruation cycle ovulation take place approximately on 14th day, which is correct. We know na, in during the middle day of the month, that is 14th day during which ovulation process takes place, so assertion is correct. Now reason, what is the reason behind it, because there is a rapid secretion of LH, luteinizing hormone, in the middle of menstrual cycle, which induce the rupture of Graafian follicle and there be releasing the ovum, which is correct. क्या होता है, हमने देखा था ना कि जैसे ये 14 डे है, इसमें क्या होगा, हमारा LH इंक्रीज होगा, लुटेनाइजिंग हार्मोन, विच हेल्प इन दी ओवुलेशन, राइट। ऐसे क्या है, हमारे सेल्स होंगे जिसमें हमारा क्या रिलीज होगा, सेकेंडरी स्पर्मेटोसाइट और ओवम रिलीज होगा, राइट, ओवम रिलीज हो जाता है, तो ये हमारा क्या है, ओवुलेशन है, तो ये क्या करेक्ट है, सी ऑप्शन। नाउ वी कम टू statements further. So statement 1, the release of sperm into seminiferous tubule is called spermiation, which is correct. What is spermiation? It is a release of sperm into the seminiferous tubule, not from, which is a mistake in the NCERT where from is written. No, that is wrong. Into the seminiferous tubule from Sertoli cells when nourishment is given to the spermatozoa. So statement 1 is correct. Spermiogenesis is the process of formation of sperm from spermatogonia. No, that is wrong. Spermiogenesis क्या था, spermatid transformed into spermatozoa. देखो अगर आपको ये पता है, कंसेप्ट पता है कि इसमें क्या है, इस प्रोसेस को क्या कहते हैं, तो आप इजीली कर लोगे। तो स्टेटमेंट 1 इज करेक्ट, वेयर स्टेटमेंट 2 इज incorrect. Option C is correct. Now our last question is statement 1. The primary follicle gets surrounded by more layer of granular cell, thicker, and show fluid filled cavity called antrum. तो इसमें फ्लूइड फिल्ड कैविटी को क्या कहते हैं? एंट्रम. नाउ इट इज कॉल्ड अ सेकेंडरी फॉलिकल. तो जो क्या होता है, जैसे हमारा oocyte है, राइट, oocyte कवर्ड बाय वेरियस ग्रेनुलोसा सेल्स. नाउ दे हैव आल्सो अ फ्लूइड फिल्ड कैविटी विच इज कॉल्ड एज एंट्रम. हमने देखा था ना ऐसे डायग्राम. जैसे ये हमारा क्या है, हमारा oocyte हो जाएगा, राइट. इसके बाद ये कवर करेगा ग्रेनुलोसा सेल से, ग्रेनुलोसा सेल से. जब मच्योर मतलब मच्योर फॉलिकल होता है उसमें ग्रेनुला सेल्स के लेयर्स भी क्या है, नंबर ज़्यादा हो जाता है. ये मैं क्या बना रही हूँ, टर्शियरी फॉलिकल. ठीक है. नाउ इसमें क्या होगा, फ्लूइड फिल्ड कैविटी बनेगी विच इज़ एंट्रम, विच इज़ एंट्रम. तो ये क्या है, ये एंट्रम है. बट ये किस में प्रेजेंट होता है, टर्शरी oocyte में. ये क्या है, सॉरी, टर्शरी फॉलिकल में. ये किस में प्रेजेंट होता है, टर्शरी फॉलिकल में. ठीक है, टर्शरी फॉलिकल में ही प्रेजेंट होता है. सो ऑप्शन स्टेटमेंट 1 इज रॉन्ग. स्टेटमेंट 2, ग्राफियन फॉलिकल rupture to release secondary oocyte from the ovary by the process of ovulation. सही है, हमने पढ़ा है ना. जैसे ये हमारा क्या है, ग्राफियन फॉलिकल क्लियर है, इसमें क्या है, सेकेंडरी oocyte क्या रिलीज होगा. करेक्ट है, सही है, दैट इज ओवुलेशन, राइट. यही होता है ना हमारा ओवुलेशन. ये लेयर्स हैं, इसमें सेकेंडरी oocyte क्या रिलीज हो रहा है, जो ओवम कह देते हैं इसको, मैच्योर ओवम. तो सही है. So statement 1 is wrong, incorrect, where statement 2 is true. Statement B is correct. So this is the whole menstruation cycle, spermatogenesis and various pituitary hormones. Now we have discussed in detail. Hope you learned everything about the NCERT, and these are important topic of the NCERT. Why it is important? See, we can see numerous questions are asked from directly from the lines of the NCERT, and they are very important question which can be basically which can be done easily in the few seconds if you know the concept. So it is an easy topic if you basically know it properly, know its concept, you can solve it. So that's all for today. Thank you.